B3 rhetorical analysis essay, and I did mine on East of West, the series. So I'll just give, I guess, like a brief overview of what I talked about. So first, I focused on cultural rhetoric, and specifically the audience, and so like I use this as an example of how the audience is the general American public, because this specific issue came out right around the same time as the Ferguson unrest, and so it's sort of the parallel of that political unrest, and those themes sort of points it towards a broad, like, American public. And then I also talked about how there's a lot of different points of views represented in East of West, like basically each subculture in the United States has their own nation set up, and it has a narrator from, at least one narrator from all of these, so that makes it so it's just the broad American public instead of like a specific culture. And then I also talked about cultural rhetoric related to the purpose, which I think is the need to overcome societal divisions in face of bigger problems such as deceit and corruption in the federal government, is what I wrote. And that, again, sort of points to the parallel between America, the dystopian America in East of West, and our America, I guess, the one that is real. I don't know how to word that. And so I use this panel where one of the leaders talks about maintaining appearance despite all the corruption and stuff. Then I talked a bit about visual rhetoric, and specifically in terms of genre, because it's a sci-fi and a western, and so like in this panel there's that's Death, and he has these real old Wild West, like Clint Eastwoody vibes, but he rides around on this robot horse. They call it a horse, so horse we'll say. And there's, I guess I could go closer, like in the actual panel in the background, it's kind of the mix of this like sci-fi world mixing with this rugged western landscape. So I talked a bit about that, and then another specific visual thing is the architecture, where it's sort of split between like western and sci-fi, and so there's like, this is Death walking into an old saloon, and then in the same issue you see these that's not a word, the Black Towers, which are like, kind of give those like Star Wars vibes, I feel, but just the like different expectations for each genre, and the kind of characters you would expect to be inhabiting this space versus inhabiting this space, and how East of West plays with that. And then the last visual aspect I talked about was the representation of 3/4 of the horsemen as actual children, and how it's, with the exception of Famine, because obviously she's kind of creepy looking, but with like This Is War and This Is Conquest, and how that the impact of having these people bringing about the apocalypse that are like literally trying to end the world are these kind of unassuming children, because I mean they look kind of evil, again barring Famine because she's terrifying, but like, you know, when you see children you don't think, yes, that will be like the end of us, like this little guy will kill everyone in the world, you know. And so those were the specific rhetorical things I analyzed, and it's mainly cultural and visual are the two things, and then I also talked about audience, purpose, and genre were the three parts of rhetoric that I focused on the most. Yeah, so that's my B3 on East of West, which is a really cool comic. What am I talking about? Okay, this is the end of this now. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.